What does freedom mean to you? Does it mean the freedom to choose? The freedom to have a family and raise your kids according to your own values? What about living a wild, adventurous life, experimenting with music, relationships, or art? What does freedom really mean? What if freedom meant something that only a few Americans still understood? What if it meant that your choices and your values were set by you, rather than by some politician in a far-off capital? Some people think we're only free to choose to live exactly how they live, by their moral code, or their narrow worldviews. But if liberty means anything, it means that you, and you alone, have the power to exercise your rights to which the laws of nature and nature's God granted you. It's time to put these principles back into action. It's time to restore the American dream, activate in our communities, and take our country back. It's time to wake up, America.
Good morning, it's 7:01. I'm Austin Petersen. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Glad to have you here. Thanks so much for tuning in to the morning show. We've got a lot of exciting content for you today, but first of all, we should let you know that we did do some major studio upgrades over the weekend, so I would like to invite you to please be kind and understand that there might be some technical issues this morning, and if there are, then we will do our best. Hopefully things won't mess up too much, and everything will be just fine. We won't have any issues with the audio. Everything should be totally fine, and I'm pretty sure that there won't be any problems at all whatsoever, and that everything will be
perfectly fine. There would be no problems at all with our new setup, our new microphone, and our new audio system. So as long as everything works just fine here, I'm sure it'll be great.
Also, some good news. We do have a sale on aisle 11 happening at the AP for Liberty shop starting today until the 18th. Attention, all AP for Liberty shoppers. You can now get 15% off all holiday items by using the code mistletoe at checkout at the AP for Liberty shop. All Austin AP for Liberty shoppers, don't forget to take advantage of that coupon. It should be great. So as long as everything is working fine with the audio, I think we'll go ahead and continue the program. So obviously, we've got a lot to talk about today. We've got some awesome guests. Twittergate blew up over the weekend. Bombshell revelations. Elon Musk's Twitter files dropped over the weekend. Everything is blowing up on the internet, and it's exciting, and it's definitely something we're going to be talking about a lot this morning. Congressman Eric Burlison will be joining us this morning. He is the incoming freshman congressman from the state of Missouri who will be joining us. Very liberty-loving congressman who will be talking to us about his thoughts about the collusion between Democrats, the Democratic National Committee, the Biden administration, and Twitter. We're going to talk to Congressman Eric Burlison this morning at 7:30 Central Time, so make sure that you come back and join us at that time. Also, this morning at 8 a.m., we're going to at 8:20 this morning, one of the men of the hour, Squiggly Line Guy, was actually named in the files as having his tweet taken down. But do you know what it was that that the Biden administration requested that they take down? Well, I've got the actual tweet that was censored on Twitter. Squiggly has shared it with us, and I'm going to show it to you before Squiggly Line Guy comes on this morning. He'll be with us at 8:20 a.m. this morning. You don't want to miss it. Don't forget, you can text the show at 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586 if you'd like to text in this morning. There are two great, easy ways for you to be able to have your chat read on the show today. One of them is to send us a text message, again, at that number that I just sent to you. And the other one is the way that you can message us is to do a super chat over on the live stream. Now, I included some new functionality along with some of the audio upgrades that we did over the weekend. We also did some upgrades for things like whenever someone subscribes to the channel during the show, whenever someone does a super chat during the show, or whenever someone becomes a member of the Freedom Ninja program. Don't forget, if you are a member of the channel, you do get exclusive emojis. And if you don't know what they are, then other people in the chat would be more than happy to show you how to use them and how to bring them in. Blackwater this morning is joining us. I think it's his first time. Nice to see you. He said, did you see the Hodge twins were calling out cops for, quote, following orders this morning? Whoa, I did not. You'll love to see it, Blackwater. That's a great discussion topic for me when Adam Coleman joins us later. He is the founder of wrongspeak.net. He's going to be joining us this morning at 8:30 to talk about 8:30 Central Time to talk about why Democrats take the black vote for granted. We can ask him about that as well. Again, send us a text, 573-319-1586. Oh, Chris Morrill is trying to play gotcha with me this morning. He says, how does it feel to have voted for someone who advocates terminating parts of the Constitution so he may return to office? Yeah, I saw that. Quite disturbing from President Donald Trump over the last week. As disturbing as it is, I didn't put it in my topic rundown this morning, so I'm not prepared to discuss it at length, other than find it, absolutely disturbing, and why I'm ready to move on to, greener pastures. What about you? We'd love to hear from you over the weekend. Somebody sent me a text this morning, boobychristmas.com. I don't think I'll be clicking on that link. I think I'll avoid that. What do you think? I think I should do that. Yes. Basically, and now that we have these new audio options this morning, I can finally tell you to go yourself. Okay. How about that one? And without getting in trouble with YouTube, you son of a. The Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen is got some. Not only do we have new audio options this morning, new channels, upgraded, better quality audio, new voice options for us, so we can sound like I've got a voice room. And we can also go. Arigato, Mr. Roboto. But we've also got some new commercials for you today. All kinds of exciting new things in the stream. You don't want to miss it. Whenever you see something new on the show today that you haven't seen before, make sure you point it out in the chat because I sometimes like to drop little gifts and coupons and exclusive things for people who are dedicated and part of the chat. All right, so let's hit the big news here today. Bombshell on Friday evening. Why did it have to be Friday evening? Elon Musk and Matt Taibbi dropped the first, it's Taibbi, right? Not Taibbi, Matt Taibbi dropped the first batch of the long-awaited Twitter files. These are the documents which were comprised of internal conversations between Twitter employees that reveal the decision-making process involved in censoring the Hunter Biden laptop story, as well as their collusion with Democrats to shut down opposing voices. Here are some of the things that we learned in this Twitter document drop. During the 2020 campaign, the communication between the Biden campaign and Twitter's content moderation team was so active that the journalist Matt Taibbi, I'm just going to say Taibbi because it's easier, described requests to delete tweets as, quote, routine. Taibbi writes that one executive would write to another, more to review from the Biden team, and then the reply would come back as handled. One of the screenshots in there you can see on Twitter from Guy Squiggs, our buddy. I can't wait to have Guy Squiggs. He's going to be on the show this morning at 8:20. Actually named right up there alongside James Woods. Congratulations to Guy Squiggs for being a problem for the Biden administration. Of course, we all saw that James Woods himself, the actor, was also targeted by the Democratic National Convention Committee, and he came out swinging on Friday night, went out on Tucker Carlson's show to talk about these revelations and claimed that he is going to sue the DNC. I'm hoping that Squiggly is going to join that lawsuit as well. I think that would be a really good thing for us, and we'd love to see that. Since the revelations, he's talking about suing them. He says, I can guarantee you one thing more than anything else you'll ever hear in your life. I will be getting a lawyer. I will be suing the Democratic National Committee no matter what. Now, both parties, I know what my libertarian friends are already saying, but both parties did it too. Yes, both parties did have a direct line to Twitter, but obviously the Twitter content moderation heavily favored Democrats due to the heavily skewed political orientation of the company's views. I mean, who could be more are you actually surprised about that? I mean, come on. Now, what else here? So Twitter's rationale for censoring the laptop story was BS, obviously, and they knew it. The Twitter employee censored the New York Post story by claiming that it violated the company's policy on hacked materials. The rationale was dubious, considering that there was no evidence that the material from the Hunter Biden laptop had been hacked. And decision makers at Twitter even knew that the rationale that they were using was flawed. The problem with the hacked materials, several sources said, was that this normally required an official/law enforcement finding of a hack, right? But Matt Taibbi went on to explain that, but such a finding never appeared throughout what one executive described as a, quote, whirlwind 24-hour company-wide mess. Now, when Twitter had to make a decision and they were, whenever they were conflicted about making a decision about whether or not to pull a tweet, a tweet. They always erred on the side of censorship. Despite the fact that their reason for doing so was pretty dubious, they always decided to err on the side of censorship rather than free speech. And that decision was supported by a former official of the Department of Justice, Jim Baker. He served as a general counsel for the FBI, and he was also the deputy general counsel for Twitter at the time that these decisions were made. Now, one other thing that I actually found surprising in this as well is that there was actually one Democrat who stood up for free speech. Can you believe that? One Democrat stood up for free speech. Representative Ro Khanna of California. I think we need to give him a little bit of applause. What do you think about that one? Let's give him some cheers. Oh, that's wrong one right there. How about this? Oh, there you go. Democratic representative. I'm still learning this audio chat this morning. It's going to be a little bit touch and go this morning. But Representative Ro Khanna of Florida actually reached out to Twitter to express his concern that the censorship of the New York Post's bombshell story violated the principles of the First Amendment. Now, Taibbi offered the details of the conversation, trusted Twitter. She was the lady who went on Joe Rogan with Tim Pool, and was the one that she was getting grilled by Tim Pool on that one classic Elon Musk, not Elon Musk, but Joe Rogan interview, which was absolutely fantastic. Taibbi offered the details of the conversation between Representative Ro Khanna and VJ God. She was that, and it showed that she was, she was unconcerned about censorship at Twitter. And it was, what was amazing too was that when we were dissecting the Twittergate files over the weekend, what we saw was that pretty much Ro Khanna was the only person who was even remotely interested in the Bill of Rights whatsoever at all. The CEO, another revelation from this, the CEO, Jack Dorsey, at the time, was completely out of the loop on all this. I mean, how does this even happen? Jack Dorsey was actually largely absent from the decision-making process surrounding the censorship of the Hunter Biden laptop story. Dorsey was, when he actually had a hand in it, he was pretty even-handed with his efforts to moderate content. Matt Taibbi, the journalist, said there are multiple instances in these files of Dorsey intervening to question suspensions and other moderation actions for accounts across the political spectrum. Apparently, this is not the end, though. There's going to be a lot more to come. The bombshell thread ended with saying by Matt Taibbi that there's much more to come. He says, including answers to questions about issues like shadow banning, boosting, follower counts, the fate of various individual accounts, and more. These issues are not limited to the political right. I mean, this is just, I got to say, whoa, exciting stuff, don't you think? I mean, this is going to be absolutely huge, because we're going to find out what happened with my account when I ran for the U.S. Senate in 2018, when I was suspended during the week of the primary. That was a pretty big deal. Shadow banning. Have you ever been shadow banned on Twitter? I mean, we're going to find out what actually happened there. I mean, that in itself, I think, is fairly exciting. I can't wait to hear that. What do you think about that? Send us a text at 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. Again, we'd love to hear from you on that one. Send us a text message. When we get back, we're going to talk about all that and more on the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com.
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today.
Fire.
Your printing company stinks. They charge you too much money and they don't love America enough. We've got the solution. Patriot Printing USA. Whether you're running for office, saving souls, or just need business cards that will get you the new job you've been looking for, Patriot Printing USA has got you covered with the best prices around. Palm cards, brochures, bumper stickers, door hangers, you name it, we've got it. PatriotPrintingUSA.com. That's PatriotPrintingUSA.com.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right.
Good morning, it's 7:19. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America Show with Austin Petersen at wakeupAmericaShow.com. It's time to rise in freedom. We've got a great show for you today. Coming up in a few minutes, Congressman Eric Burlison of Missouri will be joining us live on camera. We'll talk to him about his thoughts about the collusion between the Democrats and big tech, and we'll get his thoughts on some other things as well. At 8:20 this morning, Squiggly Line Guy, the man who was named in the files, the document release,
of Twittergate over the weekend will be joining us as well at 8:20 a.m. Central Time. The epic Squiggly Line Guy will be joining us on camera. It'll be a great interview, and we'll hear from him on what he plans to do now that this information is coming out. At 8:30 today, we'll speak to Adam Coleman. He is a journalist, a writer for the New York Post, and the founder of WrongSpeak.net to talk about why he thinks Democrats take the black vote for granted. If you have a question, you can send us a text at 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. We've got a lot of great new functionality for you this morning as we upgraded over the weekend, higher quality microphones, and all kinds of awesome things to add to make our show sound much better. And also, we are having a sale in aisle 11. The AP for Liberty shop is having a sale on our holiday merchandise. So if you are in the holiday mood and you want to get some holiday items at 15% off from now until December 18th, all holiday shoppers can use code mistletoe for 15% off at the AP for Liberty shop. Make sure that you do that and get your 15% off. We'd love to give you a nice little sweet deal over there. So at apforlibertyshop.com on aisle 11, all kinds of cool things, although we do not have any robots for sale. Sorry, kids. Again, text the show at 573-319-1586, and we'd love to hear from you about that. All right, so what are we doing here? What are we talking about? Elon Musk told the paparazzi over the weekend that he will, quote, never again sign autographs, as he warned that the risk that someone will try to assassinate him is actually, quote, quite significant, pretty disturbing. Musk told the paparazzi that he would no longer sign autographs when he landed at Dulles Airport on Saturday night. He says, I want to be clear, I'm not doing any more signings ever again, while he was surrounded by security guards. The news came after Musk said during a chat on Saturday the risk to his security has increased in recent months. He told listeners he would definitely not be doing any, quote, open-air car parades. Let me put it that way, Musk read. Yeah, probably a good idea. He said, frankly, the risk of something bad happening to me or even literally being shot is quite significant. He said, it's not that hard to kill somebody if you wanted to, so hopefully they don't. And fate smiles upon the situation with me and it does not happen. He added, there's definitely some risk there. Now, of course, all of this is coming in light after he released internal company communications through journalist Matt Taibbi last week that showed that the company had previously censored conservatives at the behest of the Democratic Party. Now, Twitter's former head of trust and safety claimed on Friday night that Musk was himself putting lives in danger by revealing the documents that showed how employees of the company had not only censored conservatives, but also censored the negative news stories about then presidential Joe Biden's son in the run-up to the 2020 election. The guy's name is Yoel Roth. He said publicly posting the names and identities of frontline employees involved in content moderation puts them in harm's way and is a fundamentally unacceptable thing to do. Musk said that he decided to release this information because it was, quote, necessary to restore public trust in the platform after it was censored. After it censored the New York Post's bombshell report about the Hunter Biden laptop. Pretty exciting stuff. And I think, frankly, that this was the right thing to do. You know, journalists themselves who are supposed to be speaking truth to power, who become mouthpieces for the regime, are the story these days. It used to be that there was a separation of journalism and state, but that is no longer the case because now many journalists are just, again, mouthpieces for the regime. And so that means that they are the story, which means that their names and their information is probably going to be posted publicly. I thought it was interesting, too, that there were all of these journalists who were accusing Matt Taibbi of doing PR for a billionaire. And what was interesting about that was that was it Taibbi or someone else? It may have been Glenn Greenwald, but one of those two gentlemen said that these are people who have all done anonymous reporting sources for the New York Post and the Washington Times and all these major journals for like the FBI and the Pentagon and the CIA and all of these intelligence agencies of the government. All of these people were more than happy to do PR for the branches of the government. But, suddenly we have this big story. Matt Taibbi publishes it because it comes from a billionaire. Then also all of a sudden he's a lapdog, and they're accusing Matt Taibbi of essentially becoming a collaborationist with evil or what have you. And it's just, it's fascinating to me how much. I mean, Michael Malice is right. I mean, reporters are not reporters, but journalists, quote unquote. Many of them, not all of them, but many of them, probably most of them, are the enemy of the people, because what they do is they quite literally parrot narratives that come from intelligence agencies that are misinformation or disinformation. I mean, for example, the FBI. I mean, apparently the FBI has been having weekly meetings with Twitter. The FBI warned Twitter, this is according to the New York Post, during weekly meetings before the 2020 election to expect hack and leak operations by state actors involving Hunter Biden, and likely in October, meaning that the FBI knew that this stuff was coming. They knew it was real, and they were deliberately lying and pressuring Twitter to censor these communications and pressuring these big tech companies to censor the truth so that they can manipulate the election in favor of Joe Biden. I mean, think about this, the implications of this. The police agency of the government has become a spokesperson, a mouthpiece for the Democratic National Committee. We're talking about an actual branch of an actual government agency that is tasked with being that is a police agency that is nothing more now than an investigative branch and a mouthpiece for a political party here in the United States. And keep in mind, Donald Trump was still president of the United States at the time. The FBI was actively working to undermine the sitting president of the United States, which is another good reason for why libertarians were right and that we should abolish the FBI. Your thoughts? Send us a text, 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. Our friend Chris Hughes is messaging us this morning. Good morning, Chris. He says, I'm still banned on Twitter for tweeting that while trans people have mental health issues, most people have mental health issues. They claimed it was an attempt to incite violence against trans people. I'd like to know if big tech blocking the laptop story could be considered an in-kind donation to the Biden campaign. Ooh, great question. That kind of PR costs millions. Looks like Elon found that collusion to affect the outcome of a U.S. election. Great stuff. If you'd like to send us your text, again, you can do so at 573-319-1586. If you'd like to help the channel grow, you can send us a super chat this morning, and I will see your super chat, and I will be able to read it into the streams as well. So that's 573-319-1586. I wanted to let Camellia know, because I probably should have warned her before, that the stream elements in the chat that you see is actually an integrated part of the new functionality that I've added to the live stream. So Camellia, if you see things from stream elements in the chat, just so you know, I did add that, and that is a normal part of it. So you don't have to like ban the stream elements spot. If you can undo that, if you did, just so you know. Anyways, so we've got an awesome show for you today. Congressman Eric Burlison is going to be joining us when we come back on the Wake Up America show. We're going to get his thoughts on Elon Gate, or hashtag Twittergate, when we get back on the Wake Up America show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
American conservatism is distinct, like America is distinct from the United Kingdom. American conservatism's roots comes out of the Wild West, out of pioneerism. The difference between American conservatives and European conservatives is that Americans are cowboys. We are that God, guns, gold, and girls. It's wild here, and we should stay that way. We shouldn't allow a European version of conservatism to come and infect us here. We like it wide open spaces here, deep in the heart of Texas and all that.
Wife. I want to thank you all for watching the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen. This show has been a huge venture for our family, so we would love it if you could join us. I believe in liberty, and I believe in Austin's ability to spread the ideas of liberty. Do you? I want to ask ask you today to join Petersen's Patriots with a pledge of $17.76 a month. Help us to stay cancel-proof so we can spread the message of limited government across the country. I joined Petersen's Patriots myself, just in a little different way. Visit wakeupamericashow.com/support and make your pledge today.
Hey, it's Austin. Thanks for watching and listening to the Wake Up America show. 2022 has been an exciting year for the Petersen household. Steffi and I celebrated our first anniversary, and my new radio program, The Austin Petersen Show, was syndicated in St. Louis just over a month ago. There have been some challenging times, but with the help and support of good friends like you, we've been able to come out even stronger at the end of this year than when we started. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to the Cantina crew, especially Camelia Petersen, Tolly Owens, Jamie Marie Pope, Chris Morrill, Matt Unruh, Quest Fanning, Elizabeth Fanning Press, Tina Martin Goodrick, John Rail, Jasper Logan, Kathy Jo Loy, Edie Vogel, Grant Sundberg, Anna DePalm, Doug Hill, Andy Opperman, Lyle and Lori Rosberg, John Petersen, John Mashurik, Ava Lavasco, Leslie Scott Russell, Liberty Liss, Pam Ames, Cecilia Harden, Mary Kramer, and dozens more than I could list here. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and may your days be merry and bright with a Happy New Year.
Hello, I'm George. Thank you for watching the Wake Up America show with my dad. Today, I'd like to share with you 3 reasons why you should visit Dad's online store at apforlibertyshop.com. Number 1, you can get exclusive freedom-loving merch designed by AP himself or me mom, Steffi. Liberty Laura has made some designs as well, and blimey, they are great. Number 2, most of these products are so wicked that they aren't even allowed to be advertised on Facebook or Instagram. Modern machine guns and a proper keychain. Plus, our Grover Cleveland t-shirt is so spicy apparently that leftists on Facebook specifically banned it from appearing on the website. Number 3, you're supporting liberty lovers just like you. Spend your money where you earn it, and you help me Pops build a community that supports what you believe. Bloody hell, this commercial is running too long. Gotta run. Bye now. Don't forget to visit apforlibertyshop.com. That's apforlibertyshop.com.
Good morning at Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Petersen. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com. Glad to have you here. Thank you so much to Elizabeth Fanning Press for the super chat today, who says that it's treason, baby, what happened with Twittergate. Unfortunately, the perils of live, well, I would call it television, but it's not really quite television, is it? You can watch us on your TV, but the perils of live streaming are that sometimes your guests who are supposed to be there when you're live just decide just not to show up. At any point in time, Congressman Eric Burlison might show up, on the live stream. And if he does in the next 10 minutes, then we'll go ahead and we'll just put him on the show. But as it is right now, he did not show up. We'd love to hear from you this morning. You can send us a text 573-319-1586. Andy Maidment says that the audio is way better. I don't have to change the volume between the show and the commercials. Well, thank you, brother. I worked very hard over the last 3 months to teach myself audio engineering, and I learned how to produce the commercials so that they have a nice, even sound and that they don't explode in terms of volume. So add that to my skill set, as well as all kinds of other exciting skills. And don't forget, we have an announcement to make. We are, attention AP for Liberty shoppers. We are now having a sale over at ap4libertyshop.com. Attention. We have a sale at ap4libertyshop.com, 15% off to all shoppers who wish to get a discount, 15% off. Use code mistletoe for a 15% discount. Mistletoe for a 15% discount until December the 18th. And, all kinds of fun stuff to do now with the voice. Oh, wrong button. Is that the right button? No, do I have this right button here? There we go.
This is much better. Okay. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas.
Oh man, all kinds of fun and shenanigans with the audio now that I learned how to use all this kind of stuff. You can text the Wake Up America show at 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news of the day. Don't forget, if you want to have your comment read on air, for sure, a super chat, that if you send it while this show is live versus a commercial break, you'll see your super chat pop up on the screen, as well as whenever we add new members to the Freedom Ninja program, then that pops up as well whenever we get new subscribers as well. Maria this morning says you can fill the time with saying how great I am. I would be fine with that. Well, you are great, Maria, and we appreciate you very much. Elizabeth Fanning Press said, thanks for the shout out. Made me cry. Hole. Made me cry. Hole. Why would you say hole? Don't call me an asshole. Again, you can send us a text or a super chat. And boys with their toys, says Camellia, I guess. My boys, we can play with my toys. Now, let's continue on our discussion about Twittergate. The FBI warning Twitter during weekly meetings before the 2020 election to expect, quote, hack and leak operations by, quote, state actors involving Hunter Biden. What a bunch of bullshit. This is according to a sworn declaration by Twitter's former head of site integrity, Yoel Roth. The warnings were so specific from the FBI that Twitter immediately censored the Post's scoop about Hunter Biden's laptop on October 14th of 2020. They cited its, quote, hacked materials policy, which is a move that was described on Saturday as, quote, election interference by Twitter's new owner, Elon Musk. Who's the person interfering with the election these days now? Doug H says that he would give us $50 for a whole show in the Chipmunk voice.
I don't know. What do you think about that? I was told the extraordinary revelation for the first time lays how bare the FBI was involved in, quote, pre-bunking the story of the laptop, which had been in the Bureau's possession for almost a year.
Good morning. Welcome to Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen. If it's your first time here, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Click like on the video, hit subscribe, and we'd love to have you come and join us by hitting that bell notification icon, because the Wake Up America show live streams Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central. We'd love to have you come in on the regs and join the Cantina crew, which is what we call our fans of the show. Alvin, Simon, Theodore, that's correct. Alvin. All right, can we please focus and talk about the news here? Sorry that I couldn't get you Congressman Eric Burlison. He said he was going to be on the show, and then he just never showed up. But such as it is, it is. Yoel Roth, who was the person who was involved in censoring this story on Twitter, says that he was told in these meetings that the intelligence community expected that the individuals associated with political campaigns would be subject to hacking attacks, and that material obtained through those hacking attacks would likely be disseminated over social media platforms. Well, duh, if that were to happen. He said, of course, including Twitter. Yoel Roth says, I also learned in these meetings that there were rumors that a hack and leak operation would involve Hunter Biden. Now, Roth's signed declaration formed part of Twitter's defense
against a complaint by the Tea Party Patriots Foundation that its censorship of the post was what we call, and what Chris Hughes was asking about earlier, an in-kind campaign contribution to then presidential candidate Joe Biden's campaign. Now, the FBI, which is I consider now a branch of the DNC, warned Facebook to be, quote, on high alert for what they said would be a dump of Russian propaganda, because by 2020, people were still believing the debunked narrative about Russian collusion. So, of course, everybody in high positions at Twitter and and Facebook and all these big tech organizations, they were all believing whatever. If the FBI said that it was going to be a Russian disinformation campaign, then they were going to, the big tech corporations were going to go out there and do whatever the government said, which is, in my opinion, a complete and total violation of the First Amendment of the United States. Now, we can have a conversation about, Section 230. We can have a conversation about, it's a private company. It can do it. It's what it wants. But one thing that cannot happen is the government absolutely cannot tell a tech company to censor speech. And because if the tech company does it, then that is a violation of the Constitution, and it's highly illegal. And actor James Woods, who was named in the leak, has stated very clearly he is going to sue the DNC, and I think he absolutely has a case. But you need to sue the FBI as well. We need to sue the government as well, because the FBI knew that the Hunter Biden laptop story was accurate, and used that information to put pressure on tech companies to get them to clamp down on free speech. The FBI, there needs to be investigations. That's why I'm kind of sad that Congressman Eric Burlison will be joining us this morning. Doug H. this morning says, okay, $2 for those 30 seconds on the super chat. We appreciate you very much. Those super chats go a long way to help us to monetize the show, because frequently what happens on YouTube, because of the subject matter of what we discuss on this show, we cannot monetize this show with traditional advertising typically, because of the type of content that we discuss on this program. And so in order for us to actually earn revenue from the program itself, the super chats through YouTube, as well as the memberships where you can use emotes and things like that, those are pretty much the only way that we can monetize the videos directly, other than for example, the traditional advertising that we are doing on the show. Although you can see most of the advertisements are for the AP for Liberty shop as well. Miss Cadillac this morning says that she hopes James Woods wins his lawsuits. We'd love to hear from you. Al Johnson says most of the scandals were all self-investigated by himself, which surely Jack will be reviewing. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that, because if Jack Dorsey was not involved in most of this stuff in terms of the day-to-day censoring of speech, I mean, is there like a possibility that that this doesn't go all the way to the top, that it's really just this rogue elements within big tech? If so, Elon Musk taking over the company is really a good thing. Elizabeth Fanning Press says that he's afraid because Squigs. I'm not sure what you mean by that question, but you can send in your text as well. If you want to get your text read on air for free, just again, send us a text at 573-319-1586. But if you want your text read on air and you want to help support the channel, you can do a super chat over on the YouTube live stream. And if today is your first time watching the Wake Up America show, then we'd love to have you join us. Click like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon so that we will see you again in the future. Now, the FBI agent who organized these weekly meetings with big tech was a guy by the name of Elvis. No kidding. Elvis has left the FBI. Elvis Chan, his postgraduate thesis claimed that Russia interfered with the 2016 election to help former President Trump. So his postgraduate thesis, Elvis Chan's postgraduate thesis was the claim that Russia interfered with the 2016 election to help former President Trump, meaning that this guy's career has been built on lies from before he even had a career. When he was doing his postgraduate degree, he was writing bull while he was still a student. Now, Chan testified by Zoom on Tuesday in a lawsuit against the Biden administration that he organized the meetings in San Francisco for as many as 7 DC-based FBI agents in the run-up to the 2020 election, meaning that the FBI was already essentially pre-banning information. Welcome to Hi-Fi Cat to the Freedom Ninja chat. We're glad to have you as a new member. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. You do get live emojis for the show that are exclusive for you, as well as a discount at the AP for Liberty shop. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And don't forget to introduce yourself around to everybody, because we'd love to make friends, and we're glad to have you here as a part of our new membership program. Now, this lawsuit that I'm talking about here, this was brought by the Republican Attorney Generals of Missouri and Louisiana. Talk about Missouri. Let's go. Oh, baby. Yeah. Attorney General Eric Schmitt, who's the incoming Senator Eric Schmitt. How exciting is it going to be when Eric Schmitt from Missouri, the senator from Missouri, comes in and takes over Roy Blunt's place there in the Senate? And maybe we're going to get some actual investigative committee hearings. I mean, think about like the January 6th committee hearing meetings, but now actually real against something that actually is, a threat to our way of life and to our rights. Send us a text what you think, 573-319-1586, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. We're going to have an awesome show for you today. Squiggly Line Guy, who was named in the leak, is going to join us on the program today. I'm so excited to hear what Squiggly Line Guy is going to do. Is he going to sue their... He's going to sue their sizz off. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. We'll be back with more. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more of the Wake Up America Show at wakeupamericashow.com.
Were you exposed to hazardous materials while serving in the military and have an illness or condition as a result?
If so, you may be eligible for VA benefits and services. Whether you need health care or want to file a disability compensation claim related to military exposures, VA is here to help. Visit va.gov/military-exposures to learn more and apply today.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun. Thank you.
Enough yet? Do facts no longer matter? Are lies to be encouraged instead of punished? This is not our inheritance. If truth no longer matters, we will not remain free for long. This is our generation's challenge, to defend our founders' hope that we the people could self-govern if we defend our right to get the facts. And right now, we're building the only defense of free people have. The facts on every politician, every position they held, every statement they've made, every vote they've made, and any cash they've taken. It's the real history on those now pandering for your vote. There are hundreds of young people building our defense right now, and they need your help. We all have our passions, but as our ancestors knew, when events become so foul they threaten us all, we must stand and defend each other. Please, have our backs. Join us at votesmart.org.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
We wish you a freedom Christmas. We wish you a freedom Christmas. We wish you a freedom Christmas and a liberty New Year. Socialists and commies may try to convince you that the holiday's all about free stuff. But let's be honest, we all know whose wallet Santa's gifts are coming out of. There ain't no such thing as a free stocking. Santa is the only guy with a big white beard promising free stuff that we want anything to do with this holiday. And if you don't believe, you don't receive. It's a capitalist, consumerist holiday, and it's time for a Santa-sized stimulus. Get your free market merch at the AP for Liberty shop today and stuff your socialist sisters' stockings full of capitalist cheer. Ho, 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 ho! Good morning. Check out that little ninja down there, Brandon Meyer, who just joined us this morning. Every time we get a new person becoming a member of the YouTube channel, there's a little notification that pops up at the very bottom. One of the easiest ways that you can do that is to do a super chat too. Whenever you do a super chat, you'll see a nice, neat little animation that pops up on the screen to thank you for making a nice little donation to I call it campaign. The Wake Up America show is a campaign for liberty and a sorts, isn't it? You can text the show at 573-319-1586. Brandon Meyer, thank you so much for joining us as a member, and thanks so much for joining us on the stream this morning. All kinds of fun new functionalities for the show. We also just made a new friend today, Hi-Fi Cat, who says, it's your friend in PA. Austin read my text earlier. Love watching the new show when I score a weekday off of work. Wow, lucky. Good for you, brother. Congratulations. That must be nice. If you want to have your text read on air for free, you can do that as well by sending us a text at 573-319-1586. Also, very quickly, just want to let you know that there is a attention, all AP for Liberty shoppers, that there is a 15% off deal. 15% off the AP for Liberty shop now until December 18th. That's right. Use code mistletoe for 15% off at the AP for Liberty shop. Use code mistletoe, and we'd be super grateful for you over there. That is that concludes our announcement. All right, great. So everything working
okay with the audio this morning? Haven't had any problems so far yet. I was having a little issue with hearing things like the screen elements. But it seems like everything's working okay. You can hear the music, right? You can hear me talking, right? The real test is going to be when Squiggly Line Guy comes in. Brandon Meyer, $10. Thank you so much for the super chat. Check that out. Isn't that fun? See the little super chat down there? You get a little reward whenever you make a donation to the. Wait, better fix that.
Okay, good. Now everything's checked. Brandon Meyer says, I'm taking it out of my monthly tithing, so it's coming out of this mouths of the poor. But all the same, thanks. Nice to be here. We are poor over here, Brandon. Thank you very much. We appreciate you being a part of the program. Remember, those super chats go a long way to help us to grow and to be able to add on to the show. Because as you can see, I'm not sure. Yeah, check this out. Brand new, beautiful microphone. Doesn't it sound so nice? Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Less than 10 minutes old. I never thought that I could be a podcaster successfully. Isn't she lovely nowadays? Now, isn't that worth a super chat in itself? Come on, how about that? Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? All right, you guys didn't come in here to hear me sing, did you? You came in here to hear the news. So let's talk about the news. This one is more good news from Elon Musk. I mean, give it up for Elon. Is he not just winning? I mean, I know it was supposed to be Donald Trump. We were supposed to be getting tired of winning, but I feel like it's actually Elon Musk that we're getting tired of winning with. Big time. Don't you agree? No kidding, right? We've got all kinds of winning going on there over with Elon Musk. A cybersecurity and data analyst funding research into Twitter's alleged child, sex abuse material problem. I can't say the words on the stream because they demonetize you. But you know what I'm talking about? You know, that CP problem that they've had on Twitter for quite some time. Apparently, the platform has nearly doubled its daily suspension rate on accounts that share exploitative content containing CP. Elon, congratulations. You love to see it. Fantastic news. Elon Musk stepping in and clamping down on the problem of child exploitation on his platform. I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, give him again. Now, this report that came out found that more than 500 accounts that were soliciting child, abuse material that appeared alongside profiles of at least 30 major advertisers. That led to actually a lot of companies pulling or pausing their ad services on the social media platform because their ads would appear next to, CP, like the exploitation, right? But child, and other bad material on Twitter has been documented on the program for well over a decade. But when Elon Musk purchased the platform in October, he inherited a couple of lawsuits that involved 2 minor survivors that were allegedly exploited on the platform. The Department of Homeland Security stepped in and actually had to, work with Twitter to remove that information, the CP problem. But now they have like a zero tolerance. They will not put up with any of that disgusting stuff on Twitter's platform. It's exciting to see. And they've doubled their efforts since Elon Musk took over. And I got to say, Elon, this is winning. Big time. John Knox over the live stream says, which word would be used to describe the merger of takeover of a private company or companies by a political party, such as that which happened between the Democrats and Twitter Inc.? Well, you'd call that fascism. I think so. Absolutely. Perfect. Exactly. Dustin says that he did say it was his #1 priority. Good. Yes, absolutely. Good for Musk. It's about time, says Miss Cadillac. Twitter can't show Hunter's junk, but has no problem with kids and trafficking. Yeah, I got a 3-month live stream ban on Facebook for showing a picture of Hunter Biden in his underwear. It was not good. It was disgusting. Yeah, pretty gross. But at least Elon Musk has stepped up and he's introduced proper content moderation. Proper content moderation should involve getting rid of child exploitation on these applications. That's what content moderation is really for. Not to stop people like myself from posting actual legitimate stories of Hunter Biden in a thong because he was cracked out and decided to go and wear what was that pink thing around his neck? What do you call it? Not a lei, but what do you call it? The feathers and stuff that you wear, a boa. Okay, there we go. Thank you, a boa. You can text the show this morning at 573-319-1586. If you want to guarantee that your text or chat gets read, make sure you do a super chat over in the live stream. And when you do it when I'm live, not during the commercial breaks, but when you do super chats, when we get new members or when we get new subscribers to the YouTube channel, you get rewarded with a little animation on the screen as well. So if you want to see that animation, if you don't want to do the super chat during the commercial because then nobody will be able to see it. But if we're doing it while we're live and I'm chatting, like I'm sitting here right now, like if we get a new subscriber, you'll see those notifications pop up on the screen and it makes it I think, more fun. Don't you agree? All right. When we come back, we've got just a few more minutes to go until Squiggly joins us. Director James Cameron, of Avatar fame and Titanic, says that testosterone is a toxin that men should work out of their system. Baby girl. I don't think so. I'm going to say, hell no. We'll talk about all that and more when we get back on the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com.
Hello, my name is Kelvin. Welcome to Frenchy Bush. This is my Dee-Dee's website. Now I've decided to speak to you with my real voice for the first time ever to tell you about how cool Frenchy Bush is. But I've decided that this is the perfect opportunity to share with you. Frenchy Bush is a good website. You should follow us on socials. If you like Frenchies or any kind of bulldogs, me and my new brother George are going to try to make your life more fun.
Hello, I'm I'm George. My neck isn't really thick yet, but it will be. We are so glad you're here. Please ignore my floating eyeball. It helps me spot predators who might be approaching from the sides.
Dee Dee made Frenchy bullshit to review things that he uses on me and my brother to tell you if it's good or bullshit. Take this collar, for example. Dee Dee really likes it. Dee Dee said it's really handy because us Frenchies got thick necks. Need something really tough. People think Frenchies are little, but if you look at us from below, you can see we are really pretty buff. Beefcake. Yes. Look at my creamy thighs and chest. Yes. You like that?
Big brother, please focus.
Frenchy bullshit. Please follow us for more great content and read the Frenchy bullshit blog for more fun and cool stuff.
I'm a public defender.
I am a public defender.
I'm proud to be a public defender.
80% of Americans accused of a crime will get appointed a public defender.
Everybody from a speeding ticket to capital murder.
For every dollar we spend on public defenders, we spend $3 on prosecutors.
Public defenders have to do pretty much everything on their own.
Social workers, counselors.
Investigating is another piece of it.
The average public defender holds 300 cases annually.
You never feel like there's enough time.
Public defenders have health issues all the time.
A lot of people give up and say, I can't do this work anymore.
Gideon's Promise trains, mentors, and supports public defenders.
There are a lot of people who say that they would not still be public defenders, but for Gideon's Promise.
It's fueled me to continue on in this fight.
Gideon's Promise has changed the face of public defense.
People see us as troublemakers.
Good trouble only.
We don't make it easy. It should not be easy to take away someone's liberty.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out.
Here's my resume again.
But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's a lie. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
Do you have any real-world experience?
it's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Make no mistake, reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Yesterday, Pfizer announced they have an RSV vaccine for pregnant women, and they have plans to submit their trial data to the Food and Drug Administration for approval by the end of this year. The vaccine was designated as a breakthrough therapy by the FDA in March, which grants Pfizer an expedited development and review process. White House COVID-19 advisor says that he's, quote, hopeful there will be an RSV vaccine by next fall. According to the CDC, virtually all children develop an RSV infection by the time they are 2 years old. RSV is a common virus that produces cold-like symptoms, and about 0.5 up to 2% of children and infants who contract RSV require hospitalizations, and that rate is much higher among children younger than 6 months. Thankfully, the mortality rate is much lower. Pfizer's vaccine would be administered to pregnant women in their third trimester, and according to their phase 3 study, is about 82% effective at protecting against severe illness in the first 90 days of life and about 57% effective at protecting against any illness during that time. The effectiveness, of course, wanes in the first 6 months of life, about another 10 to 15%. A separate drug manufacturer last year was in a close race with Pfizer to develop this maternal RSV vaccine when it paused its phase 3 trial earlier this year due to an undisclosed safety concern.
Good morning. It's 8:04. It's time to rise in freedom. I'm Austin Petersen. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com. You can text the show today at 573-319-1586. If it's your first time joining us today and you're over on the YouTube live stream, welcome to the program. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel so that you can get and hit that bell notification icon so you'll get notifications whenever we're live, which is always Mondays through Fridays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Also, very briefly, before we get started, announcement. We are doing a sale at the AP for Liberty shop. At apforlibertyshop.com, you can get all kinds of great merchandise, and all of our holiday merchandise is now 15% off from now until December 18th. From now until December 18th, all AP for Liberty shoppers get a 15% discount. We use the code mistletoe at checkout. Do me a favor, make sure you input that code. All right, don't come crawling back to me afterwards. You're like, oh, I forgot to enter the code, Austin. Oh, and I got to do this whole refund you your 15%. Just use the code mistletoe at the checkout, and then you can get a 15% discount. All right, thank you to all of our AP for Liberty shoppers. Okay. You know what? This morning I've been feeling like I've been, I don't know, maybe a little juiced. I've been
taking a little bit of too much testosterone. I've been, working out, doing a lot of karate, and, just in general, trying to bulk up, get easy. But then I read this article from movie director James Cameron, who said in a recent interview that testosterone was a toxin that men should work out of their systems. So you know what? I took his advice, and I started juicing with estrogen.
And now, I'm James Cameron approved. Now, James Cameron made these remarks during an interview with The Hollywood Reporter about the second film of the Avatar movie franchise. Oh, Lord, James, you're so wonderful. You're making a new movie. Oh, I got rid of all my testosterone for you. And I saw Matt Unruh over in the live stream chat today, and you know what he was saying? He was saying, how do you make a movie like Aliens and then say, oh, I don't want to have any testosterone anymore?
Good morning, Jamie Marie Pope. Nice to see you today. Thank you very much for joining us. It's nice to see you again. We appreciate everybody for joining us on the chat. James Cameron said that about his relationship with Disney. He says that maybe it's still in a honeymoon phase. I don't know. We'll see. If the movie doesn't make money, then maybe the honeymoon's over, because this movie, Avatar 2, apparently is going to cost it's like $2 billion to make. So it'll be like the most expensive film ever made. It has to be like the third or fourth highest grossing film of all time in order for it to actually break even. Camellia says that the lower pitch voices are harder to hear. So wait a minute, hold on. What about this one? Let's see. No, that's not that one. There we go. That's the robot.
This one's supposed to be a monster. Monster, baby, you got it. I took too much testosterone.
It's because my voice is already pretty naturally low already. So when you add it even lower, it's just like... So that's why you can't really hear it very well. So F Disney says, Dustin, yes, good to see you. See, public shaming works. Now I want to hear you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch, in the deep voice. All right, Doug, I'll do it, but you got a super chat.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel.
There you go. You got it. You can text the show today at 573-319-1586. Elizabeth Fanning Press texted us, and she says that Squiggs needs to lawyer up if he hasn't. Completely agree. Yes, absolutely. Now, here's the thing with James Cameron. What a weenie. He's now he's 60 years old, right? He's he says he's changed as he's gotten older, as his F-bomb laden shouting matches with executives is behind him. Ugh. He says, a lot of the things I did earlier I wouldn't do, like what? Successful movies, career-wise, and just risks that you take as a wild, testosterone poisoned young man. Ugh, God.
Why are you gay?
So during the interview, Cameron said that Leonardo DiCaprio's diva-like attitude nearly cost him the iconic role of Jack in the 1997 blockbuster film Titanic. What are you thinking here, dude? You idiot!
Why are you gay?
Why are you gay, James Cameron? Cameron explained that his first meeting with DiCaprio actually went very well, although he noted he was amused by the fact that all the women associated with the production suddenly had a reason to be in the room for the actor's first appearance. What are you, jealous, James? Yeah, that's... God, what a baby. So anyways, he tells this story all about DiCaprio and all this stuff, but I mean, he calls his masculinity toxin. That testosterone is a toxin men must terminate from their system. May I be infected with this toxin and may I never recover. Yes. We all know. Ladies, if you like testosterone, why don't you give us a like in the chat and drop some super chats. Tell us about how much you like testosterone. Jacob Champion says, if they don't make money on the film, but it is well and widely received, they have a new IP to exploit with merch and parks for the long run. Oh, yeah, he's talking about the Avatar 2 film. So if they don't make money on the film itself, they still have this new intellectual property. Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of like... whenever I create a new website, I own that intellectual property for it. And some of my intellectual property makes me money just for existing, not for like what it was designed to make money for, but just from being in existence, you can get royalties if it's ever used for anything. So like, for example, I did I did some modeling back in my early days. And yes, I did do some underwear modeling before you like start making jokes. I know. I know. And if you've seen the picture, you probably also have. So sorry about that. I know some of you are thinking,
why are you gay?
But I was young. I needed the money. So yeah, so he can do stuff for theme parks. I went to Animal Kingdom with Stephanie for not our anniversary, but our honeymoon last year, and the Avatar exhibit was the best. They had an awesome Avatar ride. I've never even seen the Avatar movie, but the ride was actually quite fun. Doug H gave us the super chat, said, "Dance, monkey dance." Thank you very much. Appreciate that. But how dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you, Doug? Dance, monkey dance. Jamie Marie Pope says that she prefers manly men. Absolutely. And I'll get back to the news.
2 hours later.
2 hours later, we'll have Squiggly Line Guy joining us at 8:20. He was named in the Twittergate document leaks. He'll be joining us this morning in about 8 minutes. You don't want to miss. Miss Cadillac is running to look for Austin an underwear pic. It's out there, but I was young. I needed the money. If anybody can remember, what is that quote from? I was young. I needed the money. If you can drop it in the chat, then you get 1 million internet points today. We'll give you a huge applause. What line? What is that? What movie is that line from? I was young. I needed the money. It's a great film. I just watched it with Stephanie. It's free, I think, on YouTube or Netflix these days. I was young. I needed the money. Anyways, movie director James Cameron is a big giant weenie. Cry more, lib. Cry more, lib. Jamie Marie Pope says, man, I need reacts. I just need to giggle at some of these comments. Yes, you do need reacts. In order to get those reacts, you have to become a member of the page. So hit that. Oh, Brandon Meyer is close. It's not Hot Shots, but it's pretty close. I was young. I needed the money. Jacob says, didn't mean to bring that part of your past up. It's okay. I've come to grips with the fact that I used to be really, really good looking. And it's actually a perfect segue for me to move on to the next topic, which is a model who opened up about the disadvantages of being beautiful and what it feels like to be treated differently. I kid you not. This is an article from the New York Post. I saw it over the weekend. And Stephanie, my wife, was actually like, oh, this is, I can see how this can be a problem for some people, because she said that, as she's a redhead, that people will sometimes just like touch her hair without asking. A woman who says she's tired of being pretty has opened up about the negative impacts of being beautiful has had on her life. And I've heard this from people that I know in my life that are like very attractive. Nobody's been able to guess the movie yet, but it's definitely one of the types of the like a Hot Shot style spoof movies. Anyway, so this model and business owner, Emily Adana, says she's been told throughout her life that she's beautiful and admit that her good looks helped catapult her career in modeling. Okay.
Why are you gay?
Now, she recognizes that she's benefited in some ways from being conventionally attractive. She says that being very pretty is not all it's cracked up to be. Now, she says that her looks mean that she's often harassed and she's grabbed in public, which is terrible. Definitely don't do that.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the? So, bye. Get your goddamn.
Naked Gun. Hi-Fi Cat, our new friend today. Yes, Naked Gun. I was young. I needed the money. When he talks about, I saw these pictures of you the other day. I was young. I needed the money. Good for you, Hi-Fi Cat. Give him a cheer in the chat. We'd love to see you this morning. 55 people watching the live stream. For the Cantina crew, for the OG, the Cantina crew, isn't it wild to see these numbers now and how much we're growing? The Wake Up America show is every Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. If you're new here and it's your first time, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon so you can join us and the rest of the Cantina crew. We'd love to have you here this morning. In just a few minutes, Squiggly Line Guy will be joining us. Squiggly was named in the Twittergate leak, and he will be joining us to talk about what he's going to do about the fact that he had his free speech suppressed by a political party here in the United States. He'll be joining us here in just about 5 to 7 minutes. But let's continue this story here where she talks about, being pretty. This model, she complains about being pretty. She says it does come with disadvantages. She says she's never been in a job where I haven't been harassed. And, some of you who know me personally probably have already heard this story, and I know I've talked about it before. But again, when I was young and attractive, I would also experience harassment as well when I was in my, underwear modeling phase. And I remember specifically like being groped and being assaulted. And it was men and women that would do it, and they would just feel carte blanche, especially on the subway when it was a packed train and things like that. Being physically assaulted was not uncommon. It would happen, and it wasn't like frequent. But when you live in New York or in DC and you're in tight, packed, train cars with people, people feel like it's their right to be able to just grab you or touch you. So I know what this woman is talking about because there is a problem with that. But of course, you'd rather be pretty than not be pretty, right? Who's ready for Squigs? We're going to talk to Squiggly Line Guy here in just a few minutes. He was named in the Twittergate document dump from Elon Musk and journalist Matt Taibbi last Friday night. He's going to be joining us, giving us the exclusive interview. Nobody else gets this interview. Just us. Just the Wake Up America show. So make sure you don't leave. We'll be right back after this commercial break on the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
American conservatism is distinct, like America is distinct from the United Kingdom. American conservatism's roots comes out of the Wild West, out of pioneerism. The difference between American conservatives and European conservatives is that Americans are cowboys. We are that God, guns, gold, and girls. It's wild here. And we should stay that way. We shouldn't allow a European version of conservatism to come and infect us here. We like it wide open spaces here, deep in the heart of Texas and all that.
Austin's wife. I want to thank you all for watching the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen. This show has been a huge venture for our family, so we would love it if you could join us.
I believe in liberty, and I believe in Austin's ability to spread the ideas of liberty. Do you?
I want to ask rescue today to join Petersen's Patriots with a pledge of $17.76 a month. Help us to stay cancel-proof so we can spread the message of limited government across the country. I joined Petersen's Patriots myself, just in a little different way. Visit wakeupamericashow.com/support and make your pledge today.
Hey, it's Austin. Thanks for watching and listening to the Wake Up America show. 2022 has been an exciting year for the Petersen household. Steffi and I celebrated our first anniversary, and my new radio program, The Austin Petersen Show, was syndicated in St. Louis just over a month ago. There have been some challenging times, but with the help and support of good friends like you, we've been able to come out even stronger at the end of this year than when we started. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to the Cantina crew, especially Camelia Petersen, Tolly Owens, Jamie Marie Pope, Chris Morrill, Matt Unruh, Quest Fanning, Elizabeth Fanning Press, Tina Martin Goodrick, John Rail, Jasper Logan, Kathy Jo Loy, Edie Vogel, Grant Sundberg, Anna DePalm, Doug Hill, Andy Opperman, Lyle and Lori Rosberg, John Petersen, John Mashurik, Ava Lavasco, Leslie Scott Russell, Liberty Liss, Pam Ames, Cecilia Harden, Mary Kramer, and dozens more than I could list here. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and may your days be merry and bright with a Happy New Year.
Hello, I'm George. Thank you for watching the Wake Up America show with my dad. Today, I'd like to share with you 3 reasons why you should visit Dad's online store at apforlibertyshop.com. Number 1, you can get exclusive freedom-loving merch designed by AP himself or me mom, Steffi. Liberty Laura has made some designs as well, and blimey, they are great. Number 2, most of these products are so wicked that they aren't even allowed to be advertised on Facebook or Instagram. Modern machine guns and a proper keychain. Plus, our Grover Cleveland t-shirt is so spicy apparently that leftists on Facebook specifically banned it from appearing on the website. Number 3, you're supporting liberty lovers just like you. Spend your money where you earn it, and you help me Pops build a community that supports what you believe. Bloody hell, this commercial is running too long. Gotta run. Bye now. Don't forget to visit apforlibertyshop.com. That's apforlibertyshop.com.
Good morning, it's 8:22. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen. It's time to rise in freedom. All right, well, the man of the hour, boy, huge story over the weekend where Elon Musk and journalist Matt Taibbi released the Kraken, if you will. Finally, somebody released a Kraken. Joining us now to discuss the man who was named in the leaks as being censored by the Democratic National Committee as well as Twitter is everybody's favorite Squiggly Line Guy. Hey, Squigs, thanks so much for joining us on the program today.
Hey, good morning, Austin. Good people in Missouri, and especially good people of St. Louis who are listening to this on syndication.
I know, very exciting, Squiggly. Well, you and I, we shared some text messages over the weekend. I'm pulling up a picture of the tweet right now so people can see what this is. Can you give us a little bit of context here, Squiggly, for what this tweet was that was pulled down here that I've got pulled up on the screen?
Yeah, what you've got pulled up on the screen, which is censored, which was censored when I posted it. So that wasn't censored just to show everybody. That was censored when I originally posted it. But this was during the New York Post, when the New York Post was talking about the Hunter Biden laptop story. And the New York Post got censored by big tech, and all of the corporate media was saying that this was Russian collusion. So, of course, that led me to think there was something to this. So at the time I was on Parler, and Parler is where all of these, photos of Hunter Biden were going down. And, I had to see way too much of Hunter Biden's dong. So I censored it out for everybody. But this particular picture really stood out to me because I was able to see someone in the background that appeared to me to be a young girl, and I wondered, was this girl of legal age? And so I had posted this picture on Twitter, of course, censoring Hunter Biden's nudity, and I said, wonder how old she is. Suppose, how old is this person? And apparently, this particular tweet was in the email that was released by Matt Taibbi, saying, hey, this needs to be reviewed. This is from the Biden team, the Joe Biden campaign team for review, and then it came back as handled.
Man, if you're just tuning in to the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen, I'm speaking to Kevin Finger. He's known as Squiggly Line Guy online. He's endured a lot of censorship online. One particular case, this tweet that you're looking at right now on the screen, if you're watching us live or if you're watching us later, you can see is a picture of Hunter Biden. Now I've increased the size of it so that you can see this girl in the background, and you can see a picture of her from the side. This is the tweet that was listed by the DNC when they asked Twitter to remove it because Squiggs was questioning exactly how old this girl might be. Now, Squiggs, you're kind of notorious for going after. Now, I have to be careful. I say child predators online. I don't want to say the other CP word because I don't want to get demonetized yet. This. How did you feel when you saw this on Friday? Tell us a little bit about just what happened on Friday when you found out about this.
Yeah, so everybody else found out about it before I did. So it was kind of like I was kind of paying attention to it while working, but it got delayed, and Elon Musk said, "Oh, it's probably going to be about another 40 minutes." So I just kind of said, "Oh, okay, it's close enough to the end of the day. I'm just gonna wrap. I'm just gonna wait until I'm done with work, and then catch back up with it later." But then all of a sudden, 40 minutes later, my phone just went fully automatic. It's just, and it's something's going on here. And, I'm being tagged and everything, and I'm being sent messages, and I'm being mentioned in tweets, and, it's just kind of like, yeah, so it's kind of like I had to go back and, kind of like scroll through this and see that, my goodness, I have been named by the Biden administration, and then very, very shortly after, you called me. So, that was, I would say, Elon Musk has got his own take on Occam's razor, where Occam's razor says the simplest explanation is the most likely. But Elon Musk's take on that is that the most entertaining outcome is the most likely. So as far as Elon's razor goes, yeah, that's what happened. It was Elon's razor. The most entertaining outcome was the most likely, because of course that would happen to me. Who else but me would that happen to?
If you're just tuning in now to the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen, we're speaking to Squiggly Line Guy. This is an exclusive interview, not able to be heard anywhere else, from someone who was named in the leak that came from Elon Musk and journalist Matt Taibbi. It's now being called #Twittergate. One other famous person who was mentioned in this was James Woods, who went on Tucker Carlson and stated he's going to sue the DNC. So I guess question for you, Squiggs, are you going to lawyer up?
I'm going to be paying very close attention to what James Woods is doing. And if there's something there, I'll probably follow what James Woods does.
So Squiggs, if this, goes all the way to the top here with the Biden administration, I mean, we're talking about here, we're not just talking about like a civil suit here. We're talking about like your actual civil rights here. I mean, do you believe that your First Amendment rights were squashed?
I definitely believe so, because, it's not like, it's not like the DNC, while they claim to be, a private organization, but that private organization, is filled with people that, have government roles and have government jobs. So, I think there's probably some discovery that needs to go on, but very likely, yeah. I mean, despite the DNC, being quote unquote a private organization, but is filled with people that work government jobs. Yeah, I think, there's definitely an issue here with the government, with people that work government jobs, requesting censorship.
Yeah, no kidding. Quest Fanning over the live stream says that Kevin is the man. So let's give him a little bit of round of applause. Thank you for that super chat. Monsieur Balls says that he is upsetting powerful people. Yeah, Squigs, any concern for your safety on this?
Well, safety is always a number one priority for me. Even before this. So I would say no more than usual. But it's kind of like safety wise, I'm always sensitive to that anyway. So.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in to the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen, it's your first time here, make sure you click like and hit subscribe to the channel, and also hit that bell notification icon so that you get notifications whenever we're live. We're speaking to Squiggly Line Guy, who, aka Squiggly Fella, aka Squigs, aka Guy Squigs, who's joining us on the phone right now to talk about him being named in the leak for having a tweet that he produced taken down at the request of the Democratic National Committee. I've got that tweet pulled up right now live where Squigs was asking, just kind of, I guess, curious to wonder how much, how old this girl is that's there with Hunter Biden. He's got a picture of his wing wang out, which we have censored in that one for your benefit. Quest Fanning says, in HBO's The Swamp, Ro Khanna was mentioned by several liberty-leaning Republicans as actually getting it. Yeah, wasn't that interesting, Squigs, to see that there was actually one Democrat who was concerned about the Bill of Rights? Isn't it sad that we're actually shocked by that?
Right. Yeah, that's that is kind of shocking. I wouldn't say, good shocking or bad shocking. Are we shocked that, at least one Democrat was concerned about it, or are we shocked that virtually no Democrats were concerned for it? We're talking about the Bill of Rights here. So yeah, that is something.
Squigs, is there anything else that you think our listeners should know before we let you go, brother?
Just make sure, to keep fighting the good fight, don't let the government, don't let big tech censor you. If they censor your account, if they destroy your account, if they strike you down, just be more powerful than they could possibly imagine. Come back, get a new account.
We hope that you become more powerful. We hope that you become more wealthy. Squigs, we'd love to see you be a part of a large civil suit and get as much money as you can from the DNC, brother. We'd certainly love to see you get as rich as possible off the Democrats. Thanks. Congratulations, Squigs, for being a freedom fighter at the front lines. We salute you, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. What do you think of Squiggly Line Guy? Isn't that awesome? That is an exclusive interview there. Nobody else gets that kind of access. Coming up next, Adam Coleman is joining us to talk. He's the founder of Wrong Speak. He wrote a piece in the New York Post about how Democrats take the black vote for granted. Talk about all that and more when we get back on the Wake Up America show at wakeupamericashow.com.
Were you exposed to hazardous materials while serving in the military and have an illness or condition as a result?
If so, you may be eligible for VA benefits and services.
Whether you need health care or want to file a disability compensation claim related to military exposures, VA is here to help.
Visit va.gov/military-exposures to learn more and apply today.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun. Thank you very much.
enough yet? Do facts no longer matter? Are lies to be encouraged instead of punished? This is not our inheritance. If truth no longer matters, we will not remain free for long. This is our generation's challenge, to defend our founders' hope that we the people could self-govern if we defend our right to get the facts. And right now, we're building the only defense of free people have, the facts, on every politician, every position they held, every statement they've made, every vote they've made, and any cash they've taken. It's the real history on those now pandering for your vote. There are hundreds of young people building our defense right now, and they need your help. We all have our passions, but as our ancestors knew, when events become so foul they threaten us all, we must stand and defend each other. Please, have our backs. Join us at votesmart.org.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
We wish you a freedom Christmas. We wish you a freedom Christmas. We wish you a freedom Christmas and a liberty New Year. Socialists and commies may try to convince you that the holiday's all about free stuff. But let's be honest, we all know whose wallet Santa's gifts are coming out of. There ain't no such thing as a free stocking. Santa is the only guy with a big white beard promising free stuff that we want anything to do with this holiday. And if you don't believe, you don't receive. It's a capitalist, consumerist holiday, and it's time for a Santa-sized stimulus. Get your free market merch at the AP for Liberty shop today and stuff your socialist sisters' stockings full of capitalist cheer. Ho, 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 ho! Good morning, it's 8:37. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Joining us now, live and on camera, is our good friend Adam Coleman, who says the Democrats, agrees with Charlemagne that the Democrats are taking advantage of and discounting the black vote. Joining us now, live and on camera, Adam Coleman. Good morning, Adam. Thanks so much for joining us on the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you here. So make your case, I guess, fill us in on this news story, what Charlemagne was saying over the weekend, and essentially what your New York Post piece from today was arguing.
Yeah, basically, Charlemagne was stating that the Democrats, at least he's realizing that the Democrats basically take advantage of the black vote. There is no incentive for them to do anything. They make promises every election cycle that he believes would benefit Black Americans. Maybe there are certain things that I would want or would not want, but from his perspective, they make all these promises and say, we care about you, and don't show up. And it's a consistent thing that happens every election cycle. And my article is basically saying this is one of the reasons why I stopped supporting the Democrat Party, amongst other reasons. But they've become very, I want to say, hyper-racial as far as their rhetoric. But even within that, I noticed that they use Black Americans kind of like a political football. They just kind of throw them from one topic to another. Like we always hear all the time, the president will be talking about one particular policy, and he says, we need to do this because it hurts people, especially people of color. They always add the especially people of color or especially Black Americans. But then they do nothing about it. And then when they do something, that they said, we're doing this specifically for Black Americans, it has no effect whatsoever. So the perfect example was the marijuana, was it the where they were releasing people from federal prison on simple marijuana charges. And the problem is that no one is in prison for simple marijuana charges, in the federal prison, I should say. Most of those charges would happen on a state level or a county level, and he has no jurisdiction over that. So it was another gesture that does absolutely nothing. If you believe that people should be let out because of simple marijuana charges, they shouldn't be held in jail because of it, understandable. But it's a gesture that does absolutely nothing, and they want a pat on the back for it.
Our friend over in the chat, Brandon Meyer, this morning says hyper-racial is a really spot-on way to describe it. Yes, you can send us a text message to the show at 573-319-1586. If you're just tuning in, we're speaking to Adam Coleman about Democrats taking advantage of the black vote. So, Adam, the problem, of course, with tokenism, it does, exist in both political parties. But the Democrats have really had a very arrogant view about the minorities supporting the Democratic Party. I mean, we've seen in just the last election that African Americans are starting to vote Republican. They're starting to trend more Republican. Have you noticed this trend as well? And if so, what do you think is the cause and the explanation for that? It's got to be about more than just feeling taken advantage of by the Democrats. I mean, there must be something that's actually attractive about the Republicans that has more black voters heading that way. What would you think that would be?
I think it's very complex. If we're talking about a federal election, we're generally talking about the presidential election. So we're talking about Trump versus Biden or Trump versus Clinton. I think a lot of people, including Black Americans, were open to Trump because he said, "What do you have to lose?" Right? And they weren't that in favor of Hillary Clinton. Kind of the same thing goes for the second attempt for Trump versus Biden, because he did actually make some headway. He actually did some things. People talk about opportunity zones, amongst other things, and the funding for HBCUs. So there were things that he was actually doing that the Democrats, claim to want to do, but they never actually did, and they're the ones who are in power. But I think there was this openness to Trump, not necessarily by Black Americans in general, but specifically for Black men. That is one reason why you saw someone like Stacey Abrams try to line up in a very nice way of saying, Black men need to get behind me, and if I lose, it's because of them. There is a not just a racial divide, but there is a little bit of a gender war aspect to it. And Black men, some of them are open to looking elsewhere, or at least open to not voting Democrat and maybe just withdrawing their vote completely.
If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen, I'm speaking to Adam Coleman. He's the founder of Wrong Speak Publications. He's also a columnist for the New York Post, and he's joining us right now. We're talking about Democrats taking advantage of the black vote. Now, Adam, I'd like to move on to another topic, something that you were commenting on last week, and that was the big, it was the main centerpiece of our discussions last week, but thankfully now it's just kind of like a side note. But just curious on your thoughts on Kanye West going full-blown Nazi on the Alex Jones show last week.
I'm actually working on an article for Human Events to kind of go into depth with this. But the way I see it, it's that my biggest problem is that people see Kanye as some thought leader who's playing 4D chess. And I've heard this narrative before. The vast majority of people aren't like this, even famous people. Kanye, for example, we'll go back in time. When Kanye put on the MAGA hat, he didn't get the response that he liked. And ever since then, he's acted out. And ever since that moment where he put on the hat and people said, you can't do this, he is one of those people who doesn't like when people tell him that he can't do something or he's unable to do something. It makes him want to do it more so. But if everybody clapped for him and gave him acceptance, like that's why I said before, if he, instead of putting on the MAGA hat, he put on a Build Back Better shirt, he would have gotten the acceptance and we wouldn't hear from Kanye. No one would care, right? But because he got pushback, because he wasn't accepted, because he was making some sort of choice, I think that is what kind of led him down this path. And every time someone pushes back against what he says, he goes even further, right? And so now he's being ostracized, but he's pretending that it's not of his own doing, right? It's kind of like smacking a bear in the face and getting mad that the bear bite you back. Like, obviously, if you make inflammatory statements that the vast majority of people, not just Jewish people, but people of all demographics, Americans, you say things that people don't like, they're going to respond back. Now, we can argue about, is it right for him to be debanked and all these other things. I'm not for cancel culture, and just because of someone saying something. But when it comes to, are you shocked? Like, he knew exactly what he was doing, and you can't act like he's the victim in the situation when you specifically did something that people are going to react to in a negative manner. So, I mean, free speech, go for it. If this is how he feels, if he loves Hitler, hey, if someone wants to give him a platform, go ahead and say it. More power to you. But you can't be surprised when people want to react to it and think it's disgusting.
Yeah, and just on that topic, I thought it was interesting, to see a black man praising the Nazis. Kanye was saying all kinds of historical things, like Hitler invented the microphone and invented highways. I'm like, I wish that that Kanye West would sit down and watch a documentary about the Olympics and how Hitler treated Black Americans who were dominating the National Socialists at the Olympics. I think that, and how Hitler refused to shake his hand. I think that Kanye probably, if he actually knew some history about the National Socialists, wouldn't be saying things like that. Adam, it's fantastic to have people like yourself out there fighting for free speech and for freedom. It's certainly very refreshing to hear it. We appreciate your time today. Is there anything else that you think that our listeners should know about you before we let you go?
Basically, I'm writing more. I'm trying to be out there. I'll be at America Fest. So if anybody's going to be in Phoenix, definitely stop by. I'll have a booth. And I'm just trying to bring a normal perspective on things, right? I'm an independent who just wants to make sense of the world around me and not be so rhetorical about things, and actually speak for the average person, because we have a lot of elitists who run our media.
Well, I think the sad reality is that being normal actually makes you a radical in this modern era, as such as it is. Adam Coleman, founder of Wrong Speak Publications, a great writer and a great guest. Thank you for your time today. We appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, Austin.
That was Adam Coleman. What did you think? If you liked, send us a text message, 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. All right. Those self-checkout terminals that you use at the grocery store, guess what? They're covered in poop. Yeah, they're covered in poop. Those self-checkouts that you use to avoid having conversation with people that you put your fingers on, they're covered in poop. We'll talk about that when we get back on the Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
Hello, my name is Kelvin. Welcome to Frenchy Bush. This is my Didi's website. Now I've decided to speak to you with my real voice for the first time ever to tell you about how cool Frenchy Bush is. But I've decided that this is the perfect opportunity to share with you. Frenchy Bush is a good website. You should follow us on socials. If you like Frenchies or any kind of bulldogs, me and my new brother George are going to try to make your life more fun.
Hello, I'm George. My neck isn't really thick yet, but it will be. We are so glad you're here. Please ignore my floating eyeball. It helps me spot predators who might be approaching from the sides.
Didi made Frenchy Bullshit to review things that he uses on me and my brother to tell you if it's good or bullshit. Take this collar, for example. Didi really likes it. Didi said it's really handy because us Frenchies got thick necks. Need something really tough. People think Frenchies are little, but if you look at us from below, you can see we are really pretty buff. Beefcake. Yes. Look at my creamy thighs and chest. Yes. You like that?
Big brother, please focus.
Frenchy Bush. Please follow us for more great content and read the Frenchy Bush blog for more fun and cool stuff.
I'm a public defender.
I am a public defender.
I'm proud to be a public defender.
80% of Americans accused of a crime will get appointed a public defender.
Everybody from a speeding ticket to capital murder.
For every dollar we spend on public defenders, we spend $3 on prosecutors.
Public defenders have to do pretty much everything on their own.
Social workers, counselors.
Investigating is another piece of it.
The average public defender holds 300 cases annually.
You never feel like there's enough time.
Public defenders have health issues all the time.
A lot of people give up and say, I can't do this work anymore.
Gideon's Promise trains, mentors, and supports public defenders.
There are a lot of people who say that they would not still be public defenders, but for Gideon's Promise.
It's fueled me to continue on in this fight.
Gideon's Promise has changed the face of public defense.
People see us as troublemakers.
Good trouble only.
We don't make it easy. It should not be easy to take away someone's liberty.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out.
Here's my resume again.
But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's a lie. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
real-world experience.
It's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Make no mistake, reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. It's 8:51. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America Show with Austin Petersen at wakeupAmericaShow.com. Welcome to all of our new friends. We've always been very grateful to have new followers on the stream this morning, especially people who decided to come in and join us on the chat. R Volt 24 looks like he's brand new. Glad to have him here, as well as our old friends Kenneth Slayer, Brandon Meyer, Miss Cadillac, Dustin, Al Johnson, and many others. Glad to have you here today. All right, so let's hit the big topic for the final topic of the show this morning. Attention, cleanup needed on self-checkout counter number 2. Cleanup needed on self-checkout counter number 2, if you know what I'm saying. Yes, self-service checkouts might be an efficient way to shop, but that convenience comes with a side of feces. Ugh. Yeah, self-service checkouts are often covered in harmful bacteria, some of which are found, of course, in fecal matter. Yeah. So great. Self-service checkouts covered in poop. This is according to an experiment conducted by the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine in the United Kingdom. We live in a bacterial world. Bacteria and microbes are everywhere, says Dr. Adam Roberts. He analyzed swab results from the study. Scientists swabbed 19 items that people touch every day, like handrails, door handles, keyboards, self-service checkouts, and they analyzed them in a lab, found many of the items contained, quote, high bacterial loads. I'm not like a germaphobe, but as for me, whenever I see, like, you know how when you go and there's double doors that you want to open, and then there's the right hand handle and there's the left hand handle. I always go for the left hand handle, and I don't go for the top. I always go for the bottom of the left hand card, because everybody else goes for either the right hand, or if they go for the left hand, then they grab it at the top, right? And you know how you can tell? Because you can see the scuff marks from people's hands and where they grab it the most. So if you have an option, I'll usually do like my pinky, and I'll grab the left side and pull it open or something like that if I can, if I'm strong enough to open with my pinky, if it's not too heavy. And then I'll like, wipe it on my clothes, which who knows, maybe I'm just putting that, all over my clothes and it's not really helping me there. But apparently the self-service checkouts in this study were the ones that were particularly alarming. These were the ones that were the most disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, they contain 5 types of bacteria that are known to cause disease in people, including Enterococcus, a bacteria found in feces. Absolutely disgusting. Rvolt24, who says he's not new. Oh, okay. Just haven't been in the chat for a long time. Okay, well, glad to have you here, brother. We appreciate you coming in and chatting with us. We always love seeing people get re-engaged with the show this morning. And it's nice to see the numbers just growing and growing by leaps and bounds. We're just getting all kinds of new followers, and the show is really picking up steam, which we're excited. We also got our first new corporate sponsor, which bought in Lear Capital is going to be joining us here very soon. And I'll do an interview with them to talk about what they're doing to help promote the Wake Up America show by sponsoring us. Yes, a big time corporate sponsor. Oh, yes, that's lovely. Austin, you corporate sellout. It's for a gold company, for God's sakes. It's for gold, for God's sakes. So, what are you going to do? Well, what do you mean, Greta? For God's sakes, I'm selling gold for the love of God. Every libertarian loves gold, right? Oh, yes, so lovely. You can send a text this morning, 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. A.N. Henry says, I'm glad the show was put in my suggestions. Well, we're glad to have you here, A.N. Henry. We're talking about the number of bacteria, the amount of poop that is found on those touchscreen checkouts. I think it's probably a good idea to keep that. My wife does this. She keeps like the hand sanitizer with her and stuff like that, which always stinks, but it's hard to find hand sanitizer. It doesn't smell terrible to me. Al Johnson says flu shot running like $80. For some, that's expensive. The flu shot should be free. Camellia says, if we didn't ever touch germs, humanity wouldn't last that long. Okay, very true. JGJ asks, do they sell silver too? Yes, they absolutely do. So I would invite you, if you are thinking about making a purchase of precious metals, please wait until I give you my phone number, which should be coming later in this week, so you can call Lear Capital and get their quotes and estimates on prices. Because if you buy it through us, what'll happen is that they've done, Lear Capital is going to do a 2-month tryout of the Wake Up America show. And if people do actually buy silver and we get a lot of prospects for them, then they'll continue to sponsor the Wake Up America show, which means, think about just how awesome it would be to have actually have this show taken it, grow even more. We're going to have more guests in studio more than just one person, which I can actually do now with my new device. We're going to start having more guests in studio. We're going to upgrade our cameras. We might even go to an actual television studio soon. I can hire young libertarians to come in on the staff, and all just because if you were going to buy gold or silver anyway, you buy it through me and my link that I'll have for you here very soon. So if you're thinking about doing that, making a gold or silver purchase, make sure that you do that through my link. That's going to be coming soon. So it's very exciting. I'm thrilled, because if it goes well, then basically I can have a staff. We can hire more reporters, more journalists. People like Squiggly Line Guy can write more, produce more. How exciting would that be to have a libertarian media empire? Would that be cool? It'd be like Reason Magazine, but without all the left libertarians who are there. There's a lot of people at Reason I like, and there's some good ones, JD Too Chilly and people like that. But then there's a lot of left libertarians and stuff like that. We want right libertarians to have their own media empire, like the Daily Wire, but for libertarians, right? What would you think about that? You can do all that just because you buy your gold or silver through Lear Capital through me, right? Way to go, right? It's exciting. The Wake Up America show is only 3 months, so we've already got a big corporate sponsor. We're growing by leaps and bounds. My show's being syndicated in St. Louis. We got some new audio upgrades and equipment.
Things are really just going very well. And if we took James Cameron's advice,
and we got rid of all of our testosterone, we'd all sound like this. Thanks for tuning in
to the Wake Up America show with Austin Petersen and wakeupAmericaShow.com and the Cantina crew. That's you are the ones who make it happen. We'll see you tomorrow morning right back here at Wake Up America Show at wakeupAmericaShow.com.
I like shooting things, but whenever I can't shoot something, I like to cut things. My life isn't all about shooting and stabbing and cutting, though. Sometimes I have to do actual work, but when I work, I still like to have fun. And there's nothing less fun than trying to cut with a crappy knife. Thankfully, from the ancient sect of Christian knights, who also loved cutting and stabbing, comes a new implement that has received my personal blessing, the Templar knife. Like the ancient sword of Excalibur, you don't choose a Templar knife, it chooses you. You just decide what kind you want on the website first, however, and then order it online, and then it chooses you. The Templar knife comes in a variety of shapes. As a man of culture and taste, I have decided I will never use a terrible knife again. And thanks to the inspiration provided by this excellent product, I have decided to launch a new crusade against anyone using less than superior knives. Join me, brothers and sisters, by visiting uppercuttactical.com/pages/Templar-knives. That's a lot of slashes. For that, you'll need a Templar knife. For 10% off, use code AP for Liberty and join me in a quest for glory, for liberty, for Christendom, for the Templar knife. Get yours today. Fire. Your printing company stinks. They charge you too much money and they don't love America enough. We've got the solution. Patriot Printing USA. Whether you're running for office, saving souls, or just need business cards that will get you the new job you've been looking for, Patriot Printing USA has got you covered with the best prices around. Palm cards, brochures, bumper stickers, door hangers, you name it, we've got it. PatriotPrintingUSA.com. That's PatriotPrintingUSA.com.
Want an engaging website to boost your business? You're just a click away from 5-star Fiverr talent. Hundreds of freelancer skills like web design. Head to Fiverr.com today and get something started.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
It is better to settle these matters in the courts than on the streets, and new laws are needed at every level. But law alone cannot make men see right.